Hey there, welcome to our last habit, going the distance, lesson 2. Build on what's working. This is an interesting one, so just what to focus on in moving forward and making sure that some of the habits stay with us for a lifetime. And so the chapter is called Build on What's Working. Notice what's working and do more of that. That sounds easy enough. Chip and Dan Heath, authors of The Switch, How to Change When Change is Hard, describes the challenge that many of us face. We tend to focus on the negative. When things go well, we don't always notice. We tend to think and bring things and tie things up, and we snap our attention quickly and fix them on the negatives. Imagine a world in which you experience a rush of gratitude every single time you flipped a light switch and the room lit up. Imagine a world in which after your husband forgot his wife's birthday, she gave him a big kiss and said, "For 13 years out of the last 14 years, you remember my birthday. That's wonderful." This is not our world. The Heath brothers suggest a simple question to help us shift from our focus to more positive focus. What's working, and how can we do more of it? It's a great question to ask in every area of our lives. It will also help you rebuild and build towards the rule of life. So what is working? You've spent some time working through this book, and I'm sure by now you have found a habit that works for you, and some don't work for you, or you struggle with some more than others. It's a good idea to take up the next step and ask the question, what is working for you? Is making time working for you? What's helped you to make time easier, and what's made it more comfortable for you to spend that time in building those new habits? Rest. What have you found really works for you, and what rest works for you and do you enjoy? Reading the Bible. Is there any way specifically that you enjoy reading the Bible that's easier or more productive? Praying. Is there a place? Is there a way? Is it that for at least 5 minutes you can pray every day? Get involved in the church. What practices helps you prepare for worship? Is it on the drive to church? Is it listening to worship music in the car on your way to church and praying for the service that's coming? Care for your body. What helps you to move? Eat steady, tasty food, nutritious food. Eat slowly, or get a little more sleep. Simplify and prioritize what help you clear the distractions to get rid of the clutter in your life. Rather than focus on the negative, shine the spotlight on what's working or what has worked over the last 8 weeks. Look for what has worked and do more of that. Building your rule of life. A rule of life is a set of rhythms and relationships to help you grow spiritually. It's customized for you. While we're all called to do certain things, read the Bible, pray, go to church, worship, for instance, we'll all do these things differently, in different ways, depending on our personalities and demands in our lives. Some of us thrive on introspection and silence. Some of us are fueled by spending time with others. Some of us function best in the morning, while some of us do better late at night. Some of us have flexible schedules. Others of us are in seasons of business and don't have much time or flexibility. Whilst it's important to stretch ourselves, it's also important to begin with a solid understanding of how and what you work best in, and to begin to build the rule of life on what works in this season of your life. What to do today. So here's our homework. Notice what works. Enjoy an unstructured approach. Do you enjoy an unstructured approach? After you practice the habits, simply ask, what's working for me? Enjoy a structured approach to uncover what's working for you. Put on your scientist hat and practice the habit. Then, number 1, rate your habit practice between 0 and 10. 0 is life-sucking and not life-giving. I do not sense God's presence. 10 is this is life-giving and increases my awareness of God's presence. You're not judging performance. You're rating whether this is moving you forward towards your love for God and increases your appreciation for God. Secondly, capture the details. What exactly are you doing as a practice, this habit? Where are you? What time are you spending? Who's with you? What is your motive for doing this? Thirdly, notice and name connections. What practices, people, times of the day, places, etc., life-giving and nourishment in your relationship with God? So who are the people, the places, the times that really encourages your walk with Jesus? Fourthly, adapt, adjust, repeat, and look for changes, no matter how small. What works even a little? What works even a little? What can you do to make it a little bit better? In our next lesson, we'll look at how to build a rule of life for now, focus on noticing what works for your life and what you're enjoying about that. Have an amazing week, and let's dig a bit deeper and just be honest with ourselves about what works and what do we find, in other words, grace on. Have an amazing week further.